Hey guys, Mark Ferrasci, ProTech Dog Training, and buddy, Aussie, Gusha, Aussie, Nabu, Gusha. Good. All right, guys, so today I want to talk about something that's a little bit particular in regards to food aggression. All right, I've got one of my customers with a little puppy that was out of that last year, the same one that Aurora's back from, and he's doing a real good job with him. He's got a trainer in LA that's helping him work with the dog, but he kind of has blown it. He's let the dog start getting into a little bit of different mental attitude. Remember, we're talking propensities, genetic stamp, breed, okay? These guys are very possessive, and we're talking food aggression. So in a general sense, what happened to him is I guess he was out doing the old trick of feeding the dog his daily rations out of his hand and working the dog. Now notice, look at Buddy. He's all over the place with his mouth. Very high and drive and wanting to go after things. When you start building the dog, you say yes, and you get the dog in the drive with this food. You turn that food, Buddy, hop, couché, into a prey item. You're gonna build the dog. So he's out working the dog and he's basically loading the dog, right? And then he goes in the house, he has a little bit of kibble left and he figures, I'll just go ahead and pour it in the bowl and I'll let him have the bowl of food. Well, without him realizing the dog had already been loading up, he's excited. That's what we're seeing by loading, right? The dog's adrenaline level, his state of mind is a lot higher in these emotional states that you get when you start doing all this stuff, right? So then he kind of just threw the leftover kibble into the bowl, and I think he had his hand here or whatever, and the dog ended up going from 0 to boom and nailed him and then wouldn't let go, and he had a food aggression. Keep in mind, if he's never seen the behavior before, he's done something wrong as far as his relationship with his dog that he didn't set a pattern of asserting his dominance over the dog. Keep in mind, think about this, when they eat, the alpha wolf in that pack dictates who eats and in what order, right? And then that animal gets his dominance with his presence, with his social pressure to the other dogs is how the other male will do it, the alpha wolf in the pack, right? And he will set that tone, and he will let which dog eat and which one can't, right? If a dog doesn't respect that, doesn't put out the right body language, there's going to be a dog fight, okay? There's going to be a fight. So with this same thing, you have to give presence to the animal and dictate what you want. Now you could do one thing, this is what he's been doing, it's assis, pas bouger, and making the dog assis, pas bouger, no. Now I've got these guys keyed into this morning routine where they're really high, and see, it's the same thing. Routine and pattern cause this mental attitude. I just came out of the truck, he's all excited, he thinks he's gonna work, he's going after the hands, and I'm getting tired of him mugging these hands. So I'm dictating to him over the last few days, you don't touch this. If I wanna put it in your face and I have a fist, you better not mug my hand, right? So there's social pressure, it's dominance within our relationship. It's all about relationship between me and him. Doesn't mean you need to be abusive and beat the hell out of the dog. It just means that you have to assert these things within a pattern of your routine. Now, if you leave a dog on a sit like this, pas bouger, and you put the food in the bowl, and then you say yes, you're really not addressing the whole overall of his demeanor, which is they have a very high possessive nature. That's part of what's been built in that KNVP lineage, right? They do a lot of times hard outs where they'll grab the dog on an out and they'll actually choke the dog out. They want to increase this possession. When you see them working with a sleeve or working with other items, they always get the dog when he's on it down and he's over the top of this, and they'll kind of push the dog's head into it, and they'll pinch on the jowls, and they'll create this possessiveness in how they treat the dog. So again, over time, these propensities and genetic stamp get established in the dog. They have a very high level of possessiveness, right? But we have to teach them that in this regards, they're not to be, no, assis. Possessive, no, I said no, didn't I? So he doesn't know this. I'm dictating my dominance over the top of him. This is a good example of it. He's not trying to be aggressive with me. He's just wanting to do what he's used to doing, which is having free phone when I go and put the food down, right? So I'm saying, wait, buddy, yep, good boy, good, there you go, good. And then you be kind afterwards when you dictate this. This is what I wanted, right? Good. All right, buddy, yep, come on. It's all about social pressure. Sit, pas bouger. And this is one thing to get him to hold and wait, but that's not really the issue. The real issue is him having his hand down here. Yep, good boy, yep, good boy, good. And this is what I'm doing. I'm putting my hand right there, put my hand there, and I maybe even do a little bit of a prey attitude, right? But I've been doing this with him since he's been a puppy. I've asserted this attitude within our relationship for a long time. This other gentleman may have not done that, and he has to face this cold, which means he has to start trying to establish the rule. Simple. So what I would do is I would do a lot of my two ball, a lot of my two tugs, where you got the tug and you're saying one, and then when the prey dies, you let him have another one. Teach him a good, clear out, right? So he understands what out means. Then I might take a bone. He has a bone in his mouth, and I'll grab that bone, and I'll put my hand on it, and I'll hold it, and I'll say, out, and I will dictate the fact that even though that's a food item, that when I say out, that's out, and then I will give him social pressure or some kind of dominance over the top of him. The biggest thing, though, is this. You have to remember that if you do have to set a correction, you want to make it to a level that he does not want to broach again. You want to be done and over with your corrections. Very important, so that you have no emotional outlaying. If dogs do not respect and don't appreciate it when you come at them and you're screaming, you're yelling, they don't understand it. Your correction has to be done and over with really quick. Think of it like hot and cold. If I touch this, I get burned. I learn real quick not to touch this. Same thing. Within the pack, that's the same way they would act. The dog would be going after something, boom, it would be done and over with. The male, the alpha, might get into a real fight. He'd nail the other dog, but it would be done and over with. There'd be no lingering emotional attitude or anxiety or stress coming from you and your emotions onto the dog, because that a dog doesn't understand. They understand timing and a correction done and over with, right? And you want to have a calm and demeanor as far as how you do it. It's just done and over. It's just matter of fact. This is the way the world works. And so you have to set this up. So for this gentleman, what I would do is I'd have my leash in one hand. I would start putting it in, and I would nip the dog for going after that until I tell him to. That starts it a little bit, right? We have a little bit of a pattern. But then I'm going to want to put my hand in here, and I'm going to say, yep, and I'm going to leave my hand in the bowl. Right? If he shows any sign of aggression at all, I'm going to bring my correction level up to a level he respects, and it's going to be done and over. It's going to be like an earthquake. Boom! All of a sudden, a bolt of lightning that comes out of nowhere. It's boom, 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 boom. It's done and it's over with, and then I will calm down. Good boy, good. It's all over with, and we come right back to the same pattern that we've been working on till he understands what the rules are. And that's what you've got to do. You have to have a relationship between you and the dog that says, I am the alpha wolf, and in this case, that is not allowed at all. Keep in mind that this dog's a puppy now. If he doesn't nip it in the bud now, that dog gets to 65, 75, 85 pounds. Now try to face it after that behavior is manifested in, and you've got a major problem. You've got a dangerous dog, right? You can end up getting hurt real bad, or maybe a child comes over near that bull and that dog can nail a child. You got a major problem. So they have to understand that when you dictate terms, this is your rules. So after a while, buddy, I see. I might even go to the point where I've got the food and the food's in the bowl. Nope, I see. Babo, Jay. Good. Notice that? Social pressure, right? I'm making him wait. Nope. Yep. And then I'll leave my hand here, and if he shows any aggression at all, a little curl lip, anything, it's no, and I give him a good correction, come back at it again, and then show him when he does the right thing. Good, good. I'm not going to take your bowl. My hand's just in there. Big deal. I teach him in my hands here, and then as I go, I progress to the point where I'm taking this bowl away, and I'm giving it back to him, all right? And I'm expecting him not to show me any aggression at all when he's in this time period, all right? It's a really ticklish little thing, but like I said, you want to get done with this and over with it when they're young and they're old, still able to be dominated and have this and nip it in the bud when their mental attitude can still respect the fact that you're dominant over them. If you let this dog grow and you build all this animal to be very self-confident, self-aware, and you don't have a proper relationship with you, because that's the root of it. It's a relationship problem, right? It's the same thing with reactivity. A lot of times it's a relationship problem because the owners have been letting it happen. They let the dog get away with it. They don't address it right away, and it manifests and keeps getting worse and worse, right? Or they're not a strong alpha leader, and the dog ends up being the one that feels it has to do it, and that's where the reactivity comes from, because they don't sense that you were able to control the situation and you're the one that's in the commanding force. It's kind of what I'm doing with this puppy right now. I'm telling her that knock it off, it's not allowed, and I'm the dominant force, right? And then I do a lot of the praise, a lot of the coming back into the behavior loop that when she's insecure with something, I'm going backwards and away from it. But there's still corrections involved. It's just how you do things. The timing is involved, being consistent with your rules, real important, right? All right, buddy. Asi, Nabu, Couche, Nabu. Good, good. All right, Mark Ferrasci, Protect Dog Training, and Buddy, we'll talk to you guys later. Have a good day, guys.